Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Trust you're well. This is Leadership Talk with Adogoke, the 75th episode, and we're looking at leadership and relationships. Leadership and relationships. I have with me my good friend, also a certified John Maxwell coach, speaker, and trainer, a man of many parts, very versatile, very deep. He's a global player, full of energy and resources, showing up even at a time like this. Babs Olugbemi, how are you, sir?
Hey, good afternoon, Adegoke. How are you today?
Very well, very well, very well. I trust you're well and your family.
Yeah, I'm
You're
very well. I'm
welcome.
fine.
Yeah, you're welcome to Leadership Talk with Adegoke. And we're looking at leadership and relationships. Leadership and relationships. Um, can you please introduce yourself? Who is Babs?
Thank you, Adegoke. It's good to be with you on this program. My name is Babs Olugbemi, and I would like to just describe myself as somebody who is on a mission to support individuals and organizations to do the right thing, to focus on the right thing. Focusing on
Wow.
the right thing is like having an infinite stake mindset that whoever you come in contact with, be it
Mm,
at a leadership level or at any level, they benefit from that engagement. That
amazing.
is how we can leave a lasting impact. So I've authored 6 books.
Wow.
The first one is Transform Yourself, The Secret for Unleashing and Maximizing Your Potential. That was released in 2013.
Mm,
Then I think the one I love so much, The Student Fortress, 10 Practical Rules for Passing Your Exam Excellently. I just
wow.
realized that students at all levels, WAEC, law school, ICANN, there's high rate of failure. And one of my friends
That's
asked me,
why.
what are you going to do about it? So we authored that book. That book is approved by the Lagos State Ministry of Education. And
Okay.
we have gathered 5,000 students in a stadium in 2016.
I
We
think I
did
saw that on Facebook. Yeah.
yeah, we did a 4 hours conference with them. I invited Belado Toye, Maxwell Uba, Eda Felix Oyiwere was there, and we started the Student Fortress Club in
Wow.
99 public secondary schools in Agege, Alimosho, and Ifakoja, local governments.
Wow.
And you know the magic, what happened within 12 months, because the club is about students teaching one another after school, thereby
Wow.
developing their communication and leadership skills. Within
Wow.
12 months, pass rate of that district, District 1, the largest district in Nigeria, the largest
Hmm.
educational district in Nigeria, pass rate moved from 39% to 71% in external
Amazing.
examination.
Amazing.
So the message is very clear. You can't know the extent of your impact. Whatever you have conceived to do, just go ahead and do it. So
Hmm.
I've authored 6 books. I'm a leadership trainer. I'm a leadership coach. I help organization. I organize retreat, personal development, capacity development. I am an executive director in some organization, and I lead an organization as a leader. So that's a brief history of Babs Obigbemi, and I'm a family man.
Wow. 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 Well done. We're so proud of you and what you represent and what
Thank you.
you stand
Thank
for.
you.
The values. That's obviously you must have a vision that is so clear, that is so consistent, that is so energetic, and the vision is translating it into impact globally. We want to salute you and celebrate you. I'm sure our
Thank you.
listeners all
For the
over the
good work
world. Yeah. I was just looking at our analytics just before I came. South Africa, United States, we just did a podcast on leadership and HR, and there's massive followership for this podcast. So I have no doubt that what you're going to be talking about, leadership and relationship, a lot of people are going to chime in. Also tune in and get some value. Thank you for sparing your time to come on Leadership Talk with Adegoke, the 75th podcast. Uh,
70
to,
feet walk. That's
yeah, so
it's a good
yeah.
number. Um,
Well, we're not like Abraham. I know Abraham was 75, but this one, at least we're making progress, but thankfully, Abraham, at least when he changed his name, he had a new identity. So, but from the get go, we have been adding value and we're so thankful. It's so encouraging. Now, how did you get into leadership?
yeah, that's a very good question. realized when I was growing up, based on history I was told, I used to relate more with people that are elderly than me.
Okay.
That are elderly than me. So when I got to the school, into secondary school, I started as a library prefect
Wow.
and start leading others, organizing tutorials. Let's do something. Let's help as many people as possible. So
Mm.
at the higher institution, I founded a club. The club is still in existence 25 years ago, the Great
Oh,
Achievers Club. The club is
wow.
in three university in Ogun State. But at the workplace, I just realized that one of the basic things that attract me to people is their leadership capacity and content. When you
Mm.
tell me about your boss, that your boss is good, he treats you well, he provides direction, he's so skillful on the job, the next thing that comes to me is, okay, I want to study this guy. So,
Mm.
and I go to people and say, I was told you are a good leader. I ask them questions and I
Mm.
start relationship with them. And that is how I'm here. I've studied countless of leaders far and
Mm.
wide. I don't believe in people will say mentor me and they want to be one-on-one to you. In this
That's right.
dispensation, you don't need to be one-on-one before you study people. There was
Mm.
there's a particular leader in Nigeria. I've read everything available about him. So when I met him and I was telling him, oh, this is the type of leader you are likely to be, he was so surprised. So I came into
Wow.
leadership with interest and I've
Mm.
put in time, energy, and effort into it.
Wow. Wow. So relatable, you know. Um, when we look at formative years, childhood, there's so much that we're trying to do, but in trying to do it, we discover, our leanings, our passion, our energy flows towards one direction. And see, that's where you started off, and you're still showing up globally today. Because you found your purpose and you're working in that purpose with a lot of
Mhm.
clarity and a lot of energy, and obviously the grace of God. And so, now, what's your definition of leadership?
Well, in summary, in synopsis form, it's about relationship and result. No two
Wow.
ways. Relationship and result. And if I want to put everything together, it's positive and purposeful communication
Hmm.
between the leader and the led to drive
Hmm.
performance, to achieve a
Wow.
particular set. So the two key pillars is result and relationship. And
Hmm.
I can break that into four.
Hmm.
If I'm high on result and
Hmm.
I'm high on relationship, I'm a leader.
Hmm.
I have personal relationship with you. I know when you are mentally down. I know what is happening to your family, and we are working together in the same organization. We achieve
Hmm.
objectives together. That is a
Hmm.
leader. But if I'm high on relationship, I have good relationship with you, but you are
Hmm.
not delivering value for me. You are not producing result for me. Of course, you are my friend. You are not. You are not. I'm your friend because we are good. We can talk
Hmm.
about family when it comes to delivering organization
Results.
result. You are not delivering for me, so we are friends.
Wow.
Okay, if I'm high on result, I have to deliver results for me, and I don't have any relationship with you. I don't
Hmm.
know anything about you. My own is give me result, give me result. I'm a boss. I'm not a leader.
Hmm.
A boss will demand the result without even knowing who is achieved. I don't want to care how you achieve the result. So that
Hmm.
is a boss.
Hmm.
But if we are working together, I don't have relationship with you, and you are
Hmm.
not producing result for me. Of
Hmm.
course, you are a stranger to me.
Wow. Wow.
So
Awesome.
result, relationship,
Awesome. So it's all about results.
and relationship.
You're a result driven. I hope you're not a D person, a dominant person
But
on the disc profile. Yeah.
one key element is in achieving result. Result is the purpose.
Hmm.
Just like relationship is building safety and
Hmm.
shared vulnerability.
Hmm.
So if you have a very strong relationship, your followers will go the extra mile to achieve
Yeah.
result for you.
That's
But
right.
let's look at it. Let's look at Nigeria as of today. Leadership, we are not achieving results. And even relationship, you can question the relationship between
Hmm.
the different components in Nigeria. So
Hmm.
if your relationship is strong enough,
Hmm.
people will do whatever it takes to deliver result for you as a leader. It's
That's
like a
right.
leader that doesn't have followers. That means
Hmm.
that leader doesn't have relationship.
Mm, mm. John said that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
How much you care. Yeah, correct.
That's why. Now, what is relationship? What's your definition of relationship?
Yeah, relationship is simply working together with people. And I used to
Okay.
say this, as important as relationship is in leadership, it
Yeah.
starts from fundamentals, is
Hmm.
emotions. I used
Hmm.
to tell people that leadership, marriage, relationship, they involve hard work. So
Hmm.
if you are broken or you are destroyed emotionally, you cannot make good of marriage, leadership, or relationship. You need to
Hmm.
be at least 95% of yourself in terms of emotional balance and
Hmm.
capacity for you to make good of leadership, marriage, or any other relationship. And I used to tell
Hmm.
people, if you are broken in emotion or you are damaged, don't go into any marriage,
Hmm.
because marriage itself is hard work. Leadership is hard work. So what we see is a lot of people come into leadership, come
Wow.
into institution with broken emotion, with childhood problem. That when they
Hmm.
come in, they will not give their best and they will not receive the best from others.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
relationship is key aspect of leadership. Without it,
Okay.
you can't achieve results.
So where do they meet? Leadership and relationship. Where do they meet?
They meet in shared vulnerability. They meet in building safety. And most
Hmm.
important thing is developing trusting teams and relationships.
Wow.
Let's take it as an example. We started working together now, and we said relationship. I will know more about your family. I can tell where you are in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I know your purpose. I know everything about you. If I look at you and I can say, hey, Adekoke, something is wrong. Come and tell me what's happening to you. But
Hmm.
if I don't do that and I'm demanding you to perform for me, of course I'm
Hmm.
your boss, not a leader. So
Hmm.
the linking point between
Hmm.
leadership and relationship is that we are going on the same mission, achieving the same thing together. It could
Hmm.
be profit-oriented organization, it could be to touch life, it could be to do anything, it could be to serve God.
That's right.
We have a purpose together. Let's take football team as an example. There's a relationship among the players,
Hmm.
and the relationship is so deep that they know where each person will stand at a particular point in time,
Hmm.
and there is a result they are trying to achieve to defeat the opponent.
That's
So that
right.
is leadership and that is relationship. So what we see
Awesome.
nowadays is some leaders don't have relationship, or they have inadequate relationship, or they bring in wrong emotion into that relationship. It will not produce the desired results. So it has to be balanced.
Wow. Wow. Taking a cue from what you just mentioned, that leaders that do not have relationship with their followers or subordinates, that it could be very, very challenging. I just want you to expand on that. Can you expand on that?
Okay, I'm going to give an example. In one of my articles in Business Days newspaper, I wrote that leadership is result, is relationship, and is also a behavior.
Okay.
Also a behavior. I was leading a team. I was in the banking industry then, and I had a team of 42 people reporting to me. 6 people are part of the sales team, and we're at the end of the year. 3 weeks to the end of the year, we look at our performance dashboard. We are on 12%
Hmm.
on demand deposit.
Hmm.
On profitability, we're on 79%. Then I print out the dashboard on a Sunday. I was thinking about it then. On a Monday morning, I called the team of 8 people. I said, guys, within the next 3 weeks, we need 1 billion naira to come in as an inflow so that our performance can be at its best.
Hmm.
And I say, I'm going to take the lead. I'm facing these 5 customers. You take your own, you take your own, and let's go out. My behavior change.
Hmm.
Every morning, instead of chatting with them, I'll just tell the guys, I'm going out, I'm out. They started replicating that behavior because
Hmm.
we are in a die moment. We need to get things done.
Hmm.
I had previous relationship with them, and I'm going to share this secret with you.
All right.
Why any of my staff do something exceptional to me or to the team, I don't call them by their first name. I call them by their middle names.
Hmm.
The name
Wow.
they call them at home, the name nobody call them elsewhere. What have I done? I've built connection
A
with them.
connection. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. When I want to say, Ayodeji, you've done something very good, I don't call her Ayodeji at that point. I call her Oluwaseun, come here. And she said she's more connected because I'm calling her middle name that nobody else call her in the office. So going back to my example, I've built relationship with them. Now I need to demand for their help. We went
Hmm.
out and 3 weeks, we got the 1 billion in. That is the
Wow.
result.
Well done.
Any other time we got into that problem, I will leverage on the fact that I've talked their heart before. I've given them my books to read. I've
Yeah.
not seminar to them. I will put them in, and you know what they do? They go on the extra mile. So, if you are a leader and you are not investing enough in your relationship content, you are changing yourself in the process of being a leader to be reckoned with.
Mm, mm, mm. Wow. I've been in that space of leadership, not just in the secular, but also in the spiritual, also leading the family and a lot of things, when we talk about leadership, John will say that everything rises and falls on leadership.
Exactly. Yeah.
Leadership is influence. Um, and when we talk about transformational leadership, it's the kind of leadership that is based on relationship. I mean, it's not supposed to be transactional because somebody was saying, in Yoruba parlance, it was saying that one of my friends, he said, Sheyi Muiwa, it means that go and do this and bring this. If you're that kind, if you're that kind of leader, you're not going to get followers sticking with you all the way. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, leadership is about developing people.
Okay.
I approach it from a very selfish point.
Okay.
Selfish point, it says that I deliberately invest in people so that they can do what I can do, so
All
that
right.
I will have the peace and the space to do other things. It's
That's
that
right.
basic. When I
That's
was in
right.
the workplace, I still train people in the workplace. I deliberately identify potentials in people
Mm.
and tell you, please study the way I take my decision. And I've seen it all in a workplace. You see somebody will write you and ask for approval. You see a
Mm.
leader replying saying declined.
Mm.
Declined, fine, you've declined, but what is the learning point? Why do you decline?
Mm.
So once we see leadership as a developmental tool, you need
Yeah.
to bring people on board. You need to understand them. You need to understand their capacity, understand their weakness, and try to empower them and try to
Mm.
replicate yourself, even for them to do better.
Yeah.
Then we have solved the problem of leadership. And it's a self-centered approach to leadership. If
Wow.
anything,
Wow.
I want to see people behind me that now they are above me, that they are doing exploit. 10 years ago, I did something. I decided that I want to see people as who they can become, not as who they are
The
presently.
potential. Yes. Yes.
Potential. So I started with 10 guys that just came into the banking industry. And I
Mm.
started mentoring them, telling them, read this book, write this article, change your department. You spent 3 years enough in that department. I want you to move to another department. Even going extra mile to facilitate that. Today, they
Wow.
are things in the industry.
Wow.
I'm no longer in the industry, I'm a trainer. But anywhere I
Wow.
see them, the influence is everlasting. And I used to tell them this: whatever I've done that is good to you, replicate it to as many people as
Others.
you.
Yes. Yes.
Whatever I've done that is not that good, learn from it. Don't repeat my mistakes.
Mm. Wow. When you talk about relationship, been privileged to write a book, Customer Retention and Experiential Approach. And the first edition was written 12 years ago. We've now done the fourth reprint. And it's all about, when you want to retain customers could be your wife, it could be your friends, it could be your family, it could be in the office space, and it's still the same templates. It's about there's a formula that I have. It's called the FKG factor. You find the customer, you keep the customer, and grow the customer. You have to invest in the relationship. You have to nurture it. You have to deepen it. You have to massage that relationship. So I want you to share three things very quickly that you can use to grow a relationship.
Okay, brilliant.
Three strategies. Yes.
There are two components of relationships,
Okay.
trust and respect.
All right.
So, in every interaction, if you are trying to market a customer or you're trying to build a relationship, what people are asking in their head is, can I trust you? Can I
Mm.
respect you? If you are high on trust and you are high on respect, you are building an enduring relationship.
Mm.
Okay, let's look at it. Let's take trust, for example. Can I confide in you? Can I come to you when I have problem and tell you what I'm passing through? Can
Mm.
I be vulnerable to you? Can I come to you and as my leader and say, what you are asking me to do, I don't have the right skill set to do. Can you empower me?
Hmm.
So if I can trust you, that means I can confide in you and you not make
That's
jest
right.
of me. You will not say I don't know what I'm doing. Then we are building an enduring relationship. Second
Hmm.
is respect. What am I contributing into this relationship? I used to tell people, and I've seen many of relationship issue where a
Yeah.
woman say, "I just want somebody to accept me for whom I am." I said, "Nobody accept nonsense. If you have attitude issue, change it for before somebody accepts you for who you are." So
Hmm.
respect is what are you contributing into that relationship?
Hmm.
If I'm your supervisor at work and all I say is go and bring deposit, go and get me the customer, I'm not contributing to how do you get the customer?
Hmm.
What are your daily routine? What are your
Hmm.
habits and rituals?
Hmm.
So respect and trust are very important in
Hmm.
building relationship. So I
Hmm.
will have different level. Some are very high on trust, but very low on respect. It's not going to be an
Hmm.
enduring relationship. That means I can trust you, but you are not doing anything. You are only taking from that relationship. And I used to say it, the smallest dustbin also feed the bigger dustbin. So
Hmm.
if you are in a relationship, it's all about you can take, not what you
Hmm.
can give. And everybody has one thing to give.
Hmm.
Everybody. You can give empathy, you can give support, even you don't
Hmm.
have the money to give the other party. I've seen it. I've seen in relationship where people will say they are your friend. Immediately you drop your income or you don't have income line, they stop the communication. They stop the
Yeah, yeah, you can see that
and
again.
even
Yeah.
some are so bad that even they stop the communication is not as terrible as they even come and place demand on you that okay, if you are not working again, you should have reserve. So
Hmm.
leadership, relationships, what are you contributing? So trust and respect are key pillars in relationship.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. So what's the third thing?
Where it's like riding at the back of a tiger.
Hmm.
Trust, number one, respect, number two, number three is repeat number one and two.
Wow. I love
You
that. I
keep
love that.
building trust and respect to sustain any
Wow.
relationship. So
Wow.
it's like
Wow. I love
riding at
that.
the back of a tiger. You see, in customer service, we have different level of service, and customer service is like elevator,
Yeah, that's right.
always going down. So once
Hmm.
you reach a particular level of service, you give me an unbelievable service. The next moment, I've forgotten about it. I'm expecting another unbelievable service.
That's
So
right.
we have to
That's
be
right.
consistent in our
That's
trust
right.
and
You
respect.
know, when we look at the difference between sales and customer service, we said sales is to bring in the customer, and service is to keep the customer in the building.
Yeah.
And with customer loyalty. And what do you do to service? You deepen that relationship. You
Mhm.
go the extra mile. Feedback. You create platforms. Where you can engage, have a dialogue, because you can't. In a relationship there has to be communication.
Everything you
How
are doing,
how important is communication in relationship?
everything you are doing is trust and respect. Deepening the
Wow.
relationship, expanding the scope of the relationship, dialogue, listening, and the oil that lubricates it is communication.
Wow.
Is
Wow.
communication. A lot of us
Wow.
we are listening, we are not understanding before we give response. And
Wow.
there's something that there's a lesson I learned. I and I wrote an article about it. I said, men, stop correcting your wives.
Hmm.
Yes. If your wife is doing something and every time you say you are doing it wrong, you are doing it wrong, one day the woman will grow and become 50 and say, you treated me with disdain, you treated me as if I don't have brain of my own. But
Hmm.
give perspective. Give
Hmm.
perspective. If you
Hmm.
do something and you feel, oh, there's a better way of doing it, why can't you just say, oh, this thing you do, I think there are three other alternatives you can select from, and
Hmm.
stop that. Stop it at that. Let the person go and reflect. It's a
Hmm.
better way of communicating. And at
Yeah.
times, we communicate without minding what we are communicating in terms of our body language. So to build
Wow.
relationship and leadership, communication is. But look at my definition of leadership. I said purposeful and positive communication
Hmm.
between the leader and the led to achieve a particular objective.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I want to summarize three pillars:
Hmm.
relationship, leadership, result, and communication. So leadership equal to relationship multiplied by result divided by communication.
Ha! Wow. This is a professor of relationship. Let me just appreciate you, sir. If you're just joining us, this is Leadership Talk with Adegoke, 75th podcast, 75th. And I'm so privileged to have with me my fellow John Maxwell certified coach, speaker, and trainer. He's a global player. He's a leader with a heart for people. He's a relationship-driven person. And it said relationship is about respect and trust. And relationship is about respect and trust. Rinse, repeat, respect and trust. So, and he's not just speaking it, he's walking the talk. I just want to celebrate you and appreciate you for coming on the podcast. I know that relationship is actually something that, like you said, it's hard work. You have to work hard at it. When you see wonderful marriages, you see wonderful businesses that have transited from one generation to generation. The Walmarts of this world, the JC Penney's, is about, building loyalty, relationship. Now, I just want you to just 3 more questions. Now, what is that one thing that you can say to someone on this podcast, concerning relationships? Yes.
Okay. That is what we call culture, multitude of habit or attitude. If you want to build an enduring relationship, 1, investigate your personal culture, how you are brought up, what you think is right, your perspective about life. The person you want to build relationship might have different concepts, totally. Different perspective. So you need to start from a standpoint that you are not right, you are not wrong, is a perspective issue, and be open to the other person's perspective. Yeah. So that's the starting point. Immediately you know that you need to be flexible, and you any relationship, except those in the office, they are the same level. Ensure that you are on the same level. If I'm communicating to you as adult to adult, we need to respect each other and be on the same level. Once you get those foundations right, you start practicalizing it. For example, you have in conflict with somebody always. Stop responding immediately to any trigger or any conflict issue. Start thinking, what does she mean? Could you have done it differently? Instead of responding or reacting, try and respond. There's difference between responding and reacting. When you react, you react with emotion. You didn't think it through. But when you respond, you've thought it through, and you've analyzed it that, what this guy said, maybe he said it in anger. He couldn't have meant it. And you go back and say, you said something that I didn't really like. And I know you are angry when you said it. I know you didn't mean it, but can we move forward? Can we discuss this further? So the most important thing is culture. And that's why one of the offerings of my company, Mentoras Leadership Limited, is culture alignment and attitudinal change projects.
Wow.
We get into organization, what we ask is, what is the existing culture in this organization? Is it market culture? Is it clan culture? Is it culture where people conflict with one another? We do a kind of culture survey to know the dominant culture in the organization. Then we try to say, okay, what do you want to achieve in terms of productivity? So we now see that there may be misalignment between your existing culture. If people are competing with one another, if there is no trust in teams, you won't work in the same direction towards your productivity. That means there is a divided teams. There is divided team. Now what we do is to now align the culture with the productivity. You realize that people start working together, they start trusting one another, and they start moving in the same direction for the organization to achieve the result. That's what we do basically at Mentoras Leadership Limited.
Amazing. If you just joined us, this is Leadership Talk with Adegoke, and we're looking at leadership and relationships. This is the 75th episode of the podcast, and I have with me Babs Olugbemi. Thank you so much, sir. Now, the second to the last question: who are your mentors? You have mentors at all?
Yes, I told you earlier that I've studied a lot of leaders, but mentors keep changing.
I have because you are evolving. Yeah.
There are leaders I've studied in the past that immediately I started growing my leadership capacity, I begin to see what they should have done differently if they are really generational or transformational leader. So, but I have one major mentor. The first person that mentored me are my parents. That's given. So I started studying them, what they do. But at the workplace, when I started my banking career, I met a man that the way he communicates and relates with everybody in the team is different.
Yeah.
I'll give you two examples. The guy will say, when you are writing an official memo, write it correctly. Don't make mistake. Think through it. I will support you. Put your name there. I will sign and send it to the highest office in the bank because they know me. I want them to know you. That is leadership, developmental leadership approach. This is a man that will also look at you, care about your family, care about your progress, tell you in the next 3 years, I expect you to have achieved this, mentor you. And that person is Awebumi Odessa. That is his name. So he's my number one mentor in the work. Mr. Awebumi Odessa.
Wow. Awesome. Now, finally, if our listeners want to reach out to you, how can they contact you?
Okay, I have a YouTube channel that I'm doing 3-4 minutes video. So you can check Babs Olugbemi on YouTube. On Facebook, I'm Babs Olugbemi. On Twitter, I'm Success Babs on Twitter. And I have a website, www.babsolugbemi.org.
Wow.
You can see all my books on my website. You can invite me for speaking engagement. You can invite my company, Mentoras Leadership Limited, to support your organization, to do the right thing and take you to the next level.
Wow. Awesome. So you've heard it from him, from Babs Olugbemi. Is adding so much value globally. Is someone that is also walking the talk, is relationship driven, and he's told us it's all about respect and trust. I want to salute you and celebrate you for coming on Leadership Talk with Adegoke, the 75th podcast. It's such a privilege to have you. And I just want to wish you well. And do we want to say bye-bye to our audience? Bye, everyone. Yeah.
Keep leading.
Yeah. Until the same time next time, have a great day. Yeah.
Thank you, Adegoke. Thank you for having me.